Hi everybody, how you doing? Alright, first up, let me apologize for my last video. I just gave a record review and it's just really a talking head and it's not like me. I like a lot of little clips in there and there's a reason why, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. I'm going to try to make this video short, but there is going to be a rant. Alright? So, I'm going to go through the cool stuff, and it's just a few things I thought of what Ringo did was really cool. Really cool. And again, I'm set up left-handed. You would have to turn this around for yourself to be right-handed. Remember, Ringo played lefty on a righty kit. And also, a lot of this stuff, the sticking is not super crucial, but the sound and the effect or the essence is. So right here I'm going to insert from my old video about a minute or two of the Come Together demonstration so you can see what I did. Let's go there now. If you are righty playing on a righty kit or lefty playing on a lefty kit, here let me straighten this out a little bit more here. I got myself a little discombobulated. I never did that before, turning everything around. Kind of cool. Anyway, the way I would play this is, and I did this in my Beatles tribute band, I still lead, right? I still lead with my weak hand, which is my right. And I go. And if you're doing this, writing on a righty kit, you should still lead with your weak hand. Now, I don't do this. I don't do that. Remember, Ringo wasn't leading with his weak hand, he was leading with his strong hand, which was his left. I don't do that. I do it, I sort of turn it around. I go, that works for me. I've seen this, another way you can do it, because it ends on that high tom, right through. So you got that last note on the high tom up here, right? I just do this the standard. And it feels comfortable, and I kind of like to doing one off my right hand, one off my left. So in totality, it's like this. And there you have it. All right, we're back. Now let's move on to something. And really, what we're dealing with in something, the hard part is the bridge. And the bridge, actually, it does, meter-wise, pick up a little bit. I think the song, really, if you're thinking about the eighth notes, right, 1 and 2 and that kind of thing, or maybe you count it as 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know. That comes in around 126, 127, maybe a little quicker. And then it goes up to like 131, 132 during the bridge. So they pick up a little bit. And the Beatles weren't afraid to do that. So that's a thing. That's a thing when you're playing this with a band, to really give it that feeling. If you did the little triplet figure in the bridge that Ringo does at the original tempo, it might feel too slow and not sit right. So you got to move a little bit on it. Okay, so really what he's doing, and remember on this track they've got 3 or 4 guitar tracks, they've got some strings probably, there's keys, there's all that stuff, and Ringo is doing 4 on the floor, right, a couple of tom hits, and then triplets on the hi-hat. Watch, he's going nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So really it's 1. That's one way he does it. Sometimes he puts all 3 of those eighth notes, chord notes, depending how you're counting it, right? 1, 2, 3. Right? When I play it, however, I usually add the triplets in my snare hand on that. And the reason is because, if I'm doing it with a 3 or a 4 piece or even a 5 piece, I'm usually going to have, 1, maybe 2 guitars, not a lot of things going on. And that section is kind of noisy. It's kind of like full of stuff because the other parts of the song are not full of stuff. So there's a contrast there, and the Beatles like to do that. You got a very kind of sparse verse with with very cool vocals, a very great melody, some nice little guitar lines, and then you get this very busy bridge. So I might do it this way. Right? Now he does it 6 times, right? I just did it more times to demonstrate, right? So again, it's nice and slow. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Or 2 here. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Remember, Ringo had 5 drums. He had that extra tom-tom here. Okay? Now the other part, again, is just those hits. Bum, 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 bum. And on 3 and 4, they bring it back to that original speed. They pull it back. So let's just do the part, and I'm going to do it with my headphones on, playing that tune so you can hear it just in the bridge. And there you have it. That's something. Let's move right along to Oh Darling. Oh Darling. Oh Darling. Yeah, I'm shooting this part on a different day because I don't know, I like the way I explained it the first time. Oh, I'm breaking down the 4th wall. Like anybody really gives a blip. Yeah, I'm not in a good mood lately, and you'll hear it in my rant. You'll hear it in my rant. You know, it's going to be probably now, I'm thinking more like a part 2 to this, but it's going to be a rant. Because it's a long time coming. Okay, so Oh Darling. There are 2 really cool little triplet things he does in this, and one is very simple. I'm going to not spend that much time on it. So it was the first time going into the bridge where Paul does that screaming, right? And it sounds actually like they've got 2 tracks on there. It sounds like he might have done the figure on the snare first. This is both times through, and they just kept that recording in there, like, but you know, mixed it down because you can hear 2 drum parts on, but they're both playing triplets. That's how I'm hearing it, or maybe they just double the track. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is the figure he plays, right? So, you know, Oh Darling, it's in 12/8. You might want to count it in 6, right? So, but he does this figure several times, right? So we have 1 and a 2 and a 3 and right? 3 and left, right, right. Now remember, again, I'm left-handed. I lead with my left, but so did Ringo on a righty kick. So he said many times he preferred leading with his left, and that's what kind of gave him that late sound. Again, it's 1. It's all singles. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and I'm doing that on the toms because if I did that in tempo, you would then hear. Right, and that's about what he does, right? I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. It's that figure, just orchestrating it in different places. And you can do it many different ways, right? But he definitely starts on the tom, comes to the snare, goes back to the tom. And like I said, in the mix, it's hard to tell exactly what he does in the last time, so I kind of do my own thing on it. I'm going to do it one more time, slow then fast, right? Something like that, along those lines, or maybe it comes all the way up. So fast, I'll probably do the orchestration a little bit different, more like I do it in a show. And let me do it with a metronome, right? It's the 8th note there is at about 160. I said I wasn't going to do this, but I'm doing it anyway, yeah? About 160. So it starts here, right? And that's it. The second time the bridge happens, it's a little more interesting, Right? He keeps that 6/8 shuffle thing going. Bump, 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 bump. So slow. Same figure though. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1. So again, you got that left, right, right. So let's do that in tempo. See what I'm doing? And again, you hear it. I hear a double part in there. Like maybe they just did this, or maybe he did that the first time before he orchestrated it. I don't know, but I hear that part in there. I could be hallucinating. I don't know. So let's do that. Right? Again, we got one more time. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1. You know, and I let me play it with the tune actually. I'm going to play the second time with the tune so you can see. And again, I embellish this a little bit. I may do it while I'm doing this, when I'm in the spirit of it, and you can tell, you know, Ringo's time isn't really precise on this, so I just try to stay with him on it. He kind of pushes those fills a little bit, but it was all, you know, adding energy to the tune, and the band did it together, so it sounds good. So let's do this. All right, it's coming up. Here we go. All right, now, I do put the bass drum with those tom hits. And you can embellish that more, you know. Sometimes I go all the way around the kit at the end of that. I do it a whole bunch of different ways. Anyway, let's move right along to my favorite track on that album, Here Comes the Sun. All right, we're back. Now we're talking about the bridge of Here Comes the Sun, and that's the part that goes, sun, 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 here we come, right? That's the section. This is a very interesting section, okay? So it starts out with a bar of 11/8. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So sun, 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 here we come, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. And that's kind of the way Ringo plays it. Let's hit the bass drum on that. So when we get to that next one, I guess you could count it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But that would be kind of silly. It's better to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, it's that, so the second bar, just play it like 4. That third bar would be 7/8. If I were to count it right, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And that is the figure. He does it a number of ways. And I don't count it in 7. I count it in 4, lopping off that last 8th note. I go 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1. So let me play the whole figure now. All right, let me play that part with the recording. And there you have it. That's the bridge. And I pretty much stayed around that lick. When I'm playing that on a regular basis, I mess around with it a little bit more. But that is the idea. All right, let's move on to the drum solo. Let's talk about the drum solo itself. All right, he's not doing really 16th notes on the kit. He's breaking them up. So it's 8 on the floor, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1. And he loved that staggered tom stuff, right? So it's 8 bars. Here's bar number 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1, right? Bar number 2. Bar number 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1. So now we got bar 1, bar 2, bar 3 is just 8th notes on the bass drum. Starting on bar 4, which is a syncopated, you know, we're breaking the tom-toms up in really groups of 3. It's 1 E and is the rest, a 2 E. You'll see what I mean. Watch. Here's bar 4. Let's do bar 3 first. That's bar 4. So let's do those 4 bars together. Four bars. Here's the next 4 bars, right? So he ends on that 1. So that fifth bar is just 8th notes on the bass drum. Now he sort of turns everything around by starting that same idea, but on beat 1. So now we're on bar 6, right? Which would be and 3 and 4 and, right? And then bar 7, he does the same thing he did in bar 4, right? And then we just ride both up in bar 8 into the groove. So let's take it slow and then do it at tempo. Here we go. So it's a really cool little 8 bars where it turns around on itself and that kind of thing. Let's do it at tempo. All right. But at the end of Golden Slumber, you got that do 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 do, and it's not a bad splice. I used to think it was a bad splice, but it's not. They actually played that live. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 2 3 1 1 and dun 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 bum bum, and that's what it is. But we're going to come in a little bit later than that. Okay, here we go. By the way, that's the beat that he plays. He does do a... I actually just kind of played it straight when I did it with my Beatles tribute band. I think it wrote a little better. But, you know, Ringo and the production, everything, that sounds great the way he did it. Anyway, it's a very cool drum solo. I hope this helps you out. Alright, I hope you enjoyed that. Little walk through Abbey Road, some of my favorite moments of Ringo. I said in my previous video that I thought that was some of his best playing in all of 10 years. It's innovative, it's different, and I just wanted to show you, you know, it's not that it's all that hard. You know, everything we try and do, sometimes it's just nice to have someone figure out the little nuances. I mean, I like it when it's done for me on YouTube, right? Not everything has to be Vili Caliuta's, you know, greatest, you know, 5 over 75 or whatever he's doing. And don't get me wrong, I love Vinny. But anyway, I am going to, right now, record my complaint. And my complaint is not to YouTube specifically. I think YouTube is just following orders. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video. Stay tuned right away if you want to watch it. I'm going to upload it together with this video. It's about what happened on the video last week. I'm going to explain it and I'm going to say my piece. All right. Anyway, the next one's going to be an interview with pretty cool guy. That'll be would be on the 28th. I will release that. Anyway, see you on the next one.